Have you ever been in a place that's supposed to be a safe space, like an ecstatic dance or a yoga studio or somewhere where you let your guard down naturally, but truly something happens in that space and it makes you feel unsafe? That's what this episode is about. It's about how these safe spaces truly need boundaries. Spiritual communities need to respect boundaries, especially boundaries that females have. So, thank you for being here. If you can relate or have similar experiences and want to share, you're always welcome to share. Drop a comment. My name is Allie, aka Modest Goddess. Thanks for being here and listening to my podcast. I always say, if you would be burned at the stake back in the day, you're in the right place. If you like creativity, if you like witchy shit, this is my cat. And yeah, you made it to the right place. Modest Goddess Podcast is the place for you. So when I talk about spiritual communities, I'm talking music festivals, ecstatic dances, yoga spaces, literally anywhere they label a safe space, which I gotta say, I really don't fuck with, because people can say, oh, this is a safe space, but for who? Like, who is it safe for? Are you checking with every single person and asking them if they feel safe? Is it a safe space for people of color? You don't know everyone's experience. So it really gives me the ick when somebody says, this is a safe space, so come to my ecstatic dance. It's a safe space. Is it? Or did that guy touch her weird there and she didn't like it and now it feels unsafe for her? So yeah, I never like that. I do respect the events that say they try and provide a safe space. That is one thing. But to say that something is a safe space for everybody is just not accurate, and it does not honor everyone's experience. So the thing about these safe spaces and places that are labeled that way is that we let our guard down. I'm talking female experience, because that is my experience, is we just feel like, oh, it's a safe space. I can let my guard down and let my freak flag fly. And those things can be true, but it's also really important to have boundaries, especially in a safe space where these boundaries aren't being respected. And I will share some of my stories with you. So the first thing that ever happened to me that was like, whoa, was back in the day. I met this guy who was a body painter. He should not have been a body painter or anywhere near a female body. So yeah, I met him at an event and then went back to a house party that, there was music and painting, and it was a safe space, if you will. And it was, part of the art kind of spiritual community. And he was going on and on to me and my partner at the time about how we should be able to walk around and just be able to grab and touch whoever we want because we're all one. And then he reached over and just touched my boob. He grabbed my chest in front of my partner at the time. And we both froze. We were younger. I don't think it's an excuse for him to have froze. I feel like he really should have had my back. That's another PSA for men in these spaces. If you see them touching women in ways that maybe they look uncomfortable, go over and suss out the situation. You know what I mean? I was frozen and then kind of repressed it. Didn't think about it for a really long time until the pandemic and quarantine, when we had all that time to think about stuff. And I was like, yo, this happened. And that dude is still, I just saw him this past summer at an event body painting. He should not be out there body painting women's bodies or anyone's bodies. He does not respect boundaries. So I made a post on Facebook about this man because I knew he was in the scene. And I cannot tell you how many messages I received from other women that were like, I'm so happy you said something because he body painted me and I felt really violated. Even someone who was one of my best friends at the time, she never shared it with me. And, that's why we have to come forward about these safe spaces and these people in these spaces. He's been at festivals just painting women and women who let their guard down because they're at a music festival. Let's not even bring drugs and alcohol into the situation. It's just naturally we let our guards down in these free flowing places. So it sucks, but we have to have our boundaries up at all times, And I hated that. What really sparked me to make this episode now is I was at my local yoga studio where I'm a teacher. I teach there. And I went to the sound bath and there was a guy there. I had made eye contact with him a couple previous times that I went. And he complimented my hair, and he was like, I would say he's like middle age, like he seemed nice and respectful those times. And then this last time I went, he was just like, "You're the girl with the hair. It looks even better than last time." And like his eyes were all like oogly. And then he just went and touched my hair. Like, boundaries, brother. What the fuck? I felt violated, you know? And I think it awakened that same situation that happened a long time ago with that guy grabbing my chest. Cause like it was kind of in the same area. My hair was like, you know, it's long. So it was just like hanging down, and he touched it. And I didn't say that he could touch me. He doesn't know me well enough to touch me. And like personally, like as a woman, I don't just like go around touching people. Like even people like I'm friends with, like I'll ask them first. And there was no consent. And that's what I'm saying about these spiritual communities. And he's part of like, I think he's in like deep in the yoga community. I don't know which one. I don't know him that well, but you can tell by his eyes and the way they looked that he was. And yeah, I think that there's just a really huge lack of respect for boundaries, especially boundaries of females in these spaces. So if you are a male, please listen to this message and don't touch us. And then another story, I went to a music festival, and you know, people move through crowds, but people like get in your space. And this guy literally grabbed me and moved me over. And I was like, what the fuck? And his girlfriend was behind him and was like, you can use your words. You don't have to touch people. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to be holding each other accountable, because clearly there is no respect for these boundaries in these spaces. And a lot of times when they happen to us, we freeze. We freeze. Even if we've done so much of the work, like something just happens where like we can't believe somebody would cross our boundaries like that, because it doesn't happen all the time. But for some reason in these communities and these spaces, it just does. It just does. And yeah, I'm just calling it in like for more respect about boundaries in these spaces. It's really important. And I'm not talking smack about these spaces. I think that festivals and ecstatic dances and yoga communities are some of the most beautiful places to be. And once we start respecting all of people's physical boundaries in these places, I think they will be even better. And I'm just saying that we need to go into these places as women, and we can't always just let our guard down. We have to always just be mindful. Are we making too much eye contact with that man? Is he going to come touch me? And if he does, it's okay to back away. And I wish that I didn't freeze when that man touched my hair and I just backed up. Like I saw it happening, but I like couldn't process it, you know? It's like I could have just stepped back, but this is all hindsight. You know, I've done a lot of work in this area, and still I didn't say anything after. You know, I could have said, hey, that made me uncomfortable. And, you know, I think next time if I see him again, it's worth mentioning. I think I'm going to say, hey, you touched my hair. I didn't say you could. And it made me uncomfortable because I don't know you like that. So I hope that this episode made you feel seen. If you have a similar experience that you want to share, or if you're ready to share a specific person publicly like I did, I'm sure there's a lot of women that are going to come forward and have your back, because you likely weren't the only person that they violated. And that's what happened with my experience. And I hope this helped. I think it takes a lot of courage to come forward about these things, and just really being mindful when we go into these communities that we still have our boundaries, because not all safe spaces are safe for everybody. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And how I end every episode is I share a piece of art I made, because I'm a painter, I'm a musician, I'm a ukulele player, I rap, I write poetry. And I really think it's so important that we're just out here creating, because that is what the world needs right now. That is what we need right now. We need to be creating just for ourselves. It's truly like the only way we can really express ourselves, and it fuels us. Get out there. If you feel like you want to paint, paint. Go get some paints and paint. So let me share this painting. This painting is my little owl, my little wisdom owl. I made it during a time where I was channeling a lot of cosmic wisdom, and that's what this painting is about. It's called Wings of Wisdom. And yeah, it's just about feeling that like channel and download like from above the clouds. And if you're creative or want to be creative, maybe you can relate to that feeling. It's available on my website, alilazar.com, under original paintings. And supporting artists is such a valuable thing to do right now. It is not an easy time to be a creator because people are just out here typing whatever they want on their keyboards, okay? But most people are really, really kind and supportive. And I love you guys. And thank you for supporting however you can, even if it's just liking, subscribing on this video, or going and buying a print. All of your support means the world to me. Lots of love. I'll see you next week. And between now and then, what can you create? What can you bring into this world? I love you guys.